Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'll call this meeting of the Woodford County Fiscal Court's Contracts and Leases Committee to order. Madam Treasurer, do you have the roll to call? Well, let the record reflect that all members of the Contracts and Leases Committee are present and accounted for. On our docket tonight is This Pitch lease, and we have Greg Grisham with us from This Pitch. We also have Rich Pichter, Director of Parks and Recreation, for the discussion. Mr. Gresham, if you want to come on up and let's talk about what is before the court. Thank you, Rich.
Yep. So we were just liking to lease the BH facility, which is the indoor batting cages up at the Chandler Field. I think we've worked with the county with Mr. George about a 2-year lease for $500 for the year, which we're in complete agreement with. We will be focusing on leasing the building out to local Woodford County teams and using the funds to maintain and update the building best as we can.
Thank you, Mr. County Attorney. Do you have any?
Yes, Judge, thank you. And thanks to Mr. Gresham and Mr. Pichter for working with me on this. The lease was pretty much modeled on what we did with the rockers and tried to do it in a fashion that we're exploring with the Fair Board in terms of the length and duration and that sort of thing. It's pretty standard. We did feel there needed to be a fee of sorts like we charge in terms of the surcharge we get with the theatrical arts for use from the Woodford County School Board, for use of the community stadium, that sort of thing, and came to an agreement that $500 would be a fair lease amount per year. And that is something you believe, Mr. Gresham, you all can do. If we got too far beyond that, it would have made it difficult for you all to engage us in this agreement as I understood it. Again, it's a 2-year lease. It has we have the ability to renew it. We've addressed, as we've done in the other leases, the responsibility for utilities, insurance, that sort of thing. And again, I think we've had this out there for a little while, so hopefully everybody's had a chance to take a look at it. I've not heard from anyone, but if there are any issues or concerns, we'd be happy to address them. As I understand it, your board voted to agree to these terms.
Yes, we have.
And so we would like to see this begin the 1st of December, correct?
Yes, sir.
And let me ask Director Pichter, do you have anything to add about the arrangement?
No, I think it's a great arrangement, you know, and the fee is good because they're going to take what they can generate off the building, put back into the building, which is ultimately what everybody wants. The people using the building now have an incentive to keep enhancing that building, and that's good for Parks Department. It's good for everybody that the users are taking ownership of it. So I'm really pleased with it. I think it's going to be very successful for everybody involved.
Thank you, Director Pichter. I'd open up the floor for any questions from any members of the committee or the fiscal court. Yeah, Squire Blackburn.
Also, the teams leasing the facility.
So right now we have a cost structure of $61 for an hour and a half. I think that's right on par with what the park was doing as well.
Same structure basically as what we had been charging in the past years.
Anything additional, Squire Blackford? Thank you.
Good to me.
All right. Are there any other questions or comments? Then I'd entertain a motion from the committee to recommend the approval of the lease to the full fiscal court.
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second. Motion by Squire Varner, second by Squire Gentry. All those in favor on the committee of approving for the recommendation of the fiscal court, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries, and we will have it for your review at the full fiscal court. I don't think you'll need to be here, Mr. Grisham. I think you're excused to go. I think.
I guess get the original signed and be done, you would be the signing representative.
Yes, absolutely.
So we could go on and address that, I guess.
And if need be, I can stick around
I
too.
have an original if you wanna, go on
Sure.
and sign that, and then Judge will leave it, for you.
And I think that would be a good way to proceed. So we do have other matters, other contracts and lease matters, and I want to discuss that for a minute. We're all aware that the Fair Board lease is an item that has been on our agenda that is still outstanding. I have had some email communications with the chair of the Woodford County Fair Board, Miss Mary Lou Watkins. We're continuing to keep the Wiley family in our thoughts and prayers, and the Fair Board family as they deal with that loss. But I think they are asking some questions about how we'll proceed. And so we'll have some internal discussions between Squire Varner and myself, who have been the main points of contact in that discussion on behalf of the court. So we will get with them and we will work with them on a plan and process to proceed. One of the things that I think is important to share with the court is that the fair has negotiated a date with a carnival for the third week in June, which was a traditional summer fair date that they had moved away from, but they have moved back to that date for a schedule for this upcoming 2026 fair. That does alleviate some of the scheduling issues with graduation and the theater, and probably some other things that happen out at the county park as well. So the Fair Board lease is still a matter for the contracts and leases to discuss. We also have I am working with the mayor of the city of Versailles, the superintendent of schools, the Youth Football Association, and WISA on a lease for the turf for the stadium, the turf stadium lease. Y'all are aware that we have a lease for the usage. Director Pichter is well aware of this, and we are working on a potential lease for the stadium turf project. So that's something that will come down the road. Squire Taylor has a lease draft for the Crittenden cabin. Squire Taylor, are we able to hear you?
Let's see.
Yes, we can hear you. Do you want to give a brief explanation of the Crittenden cabin lease as you have it for the court's review?
Sure. You mean of the actual agreement, or do you want to have the county attorney go over that part?
Mr. County Attorney, would you think it would be best if Squire Taylor kind of gave a preface of the lease, and then you can talk about the specifics?
Yes, Judge, I think if, and again, to Squire Taylor's credit, he basically began this process, and Ms. Mattingly worked on it, submitted it to me, and there were a couple of changes I requested, which I have been incorporated in this. I think maybe just a brief history of why we need this, Squire Taylor, and what the plans are, and how we address that in here, such as the delivery here, the reconstruction here, that sort of thing. Want to make sure what the court knows, that they don't have certain responsibilities with regard to this, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you, and I appreciate both your all's work on this. It's been a long time coming, as many of you all know, and on trying to find a home for
turn up the mic?
this Crittenden cabin. As the previous owners of that property, the Frontier Nursing, have some future plans and opportunities on their campus, and so us finding a great home has been a task for a few years now, but excited to find a home at the county park. And the cabin has been disassembled out there and moved to the grounds of the county park, awaiting this approval and some other preparations to be able to start the rebuilding of the cabin in that location. Again, the building is going to be owned still by the Woodford County Historical Society with a lease agreement with the county for the park area. You all will see in the packet that information, I believe, maybe it didn't get sent in the OneDrive. Do you all have the map image on there?
We do not, Squire Taylor.
Oh, it's not on this one? Okay.
We're not going to take action on this
Yeah.
tonight, so I just want to go over it for everybody's review so they can do any due diligence and questions that they may have in the interim.
Judge and Squire Taylor, do you have an expectation as to when it will be ripe to have the structure delivered to be reconstructed on the park property?
So it is actually in the red barn right now.
Okay, so it's ready to go. When would you like to see this lease initiated? What is the time frame you are looking at?
Mr. Pichter?
Oh, I was just curious if you know when it would be put on site, or when it would be out of the red barn, just for
I think-
planning purposes. Do you have, is it gonna be this spring, or is it gonna go into later in the year?
No, well, it definitely it needs to be expended, the grant monies that were received by this summer. So I would imagine that things are moving on a pace to be before that, but I don't think that they want to do any real assembly on the grounds without a lease in place.
But I think in terms of the timing of the lease, we really need to enter into the lease when we know you all are ready to begin the rebuilding of the cabin.
I think they are about as close to being ready as possible. They've got the whole entire, I think the only thing I don't know for sure is the status of the chimneys, off the top of my head, but the rest of the structure is all there. And they are working on securing some new logs, but I don't think that's a delay in going to that next step.
But it is more likely then that we're looking at a 2026 start?
I can't speak for the contractor. I don't know if is Mr. Phelps able to be there tonight. I don't know if he's in the audience. Okay.
Hey, Squire Taylor, hold on one second. Director Wade, you had some input?
I was just out there this afternoon, and they are doing a dry fitting pre-fit to their base and structure.
Okay.
So they are kind of rapidly coming together.
Okay.
That will be probably early 2026 when they'll probably start posting everything out on the grounds, but they're doing a pre-fit inside the barn itself. They're having to sort through logs. They're close to running out, but there's been some powder damage, termite rot, but they are moving pretty swiftly.
Well, the reason I ask, we have the one meeting in December, and then otherwise the earliest would be in January. And again, we still have some questions that need to be answered about insurance and that sort of thing. So I'm really thinking it's probably a 2026 lease, early 2026, very early 2026, but a 2026 lease. So again, I don't want to rush this. But I want to, and I do want to make sure we get the insurance information and such that we need. But otherwise, I think the lease is pretty well in a posture that it could be presented. Do you agree, Squire Taylor?
I do, absolutely. Thank you.
So, the goal tonight, since we are in contracts and leases, and this is other matters related to contracts as leases, is just a general discussion and an awareness for the fiscal court of the potential for this Crittenden cabin lease that Squire Taylor has diligently worked on, along with Assistant County Attorney Phyllis Mattingly and the county attorney. Does anybody have any questions, additional questions, as you're thinking about this for the cabin? I would just say that I'd like to give a big shout out to the Woodford County Road Department for the dismantling and taking care of the cabin to transport it to the county park. They did a tremendous job in that. Thanks to Bo Wilson and the road department for that. Anything additional, Squire Taylor?
No, thank you. I appreciate everybody's hard work.
Thank you, thank you. Does anybody else have any questions or comments about anything else related to contracts or leases agenda? Seeing none, I will deem this committee meeting adjourned, and we will reconvene in fiscal court at 5:30. Thank you all.
Thank you.